Okay, hey guys, I'm making new videos because I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel and I want to start with you guys and see how this goes. At first, I was going to do cooking because I started learning how to cook and I ended up liking it. And I made a video, but I ended up deleting it. I was going to upload it and I had started to, but I ended up not uploading it because honestly, my phone ran out of data and I needed to get more. But then before I did, I decided I didn't like the video and I decided to not upload it. So I'm starting a channel on YouTube, I believe, and I'm going to do it about my life. So this will be the first video. And it's not that I'm not going to do cooking in it. I'm gonna do some cooking and things that I do. Like I buy and sell things for a profit. Excuse me. So I'm gonna put that in the videos, and cooking and my life, what I do with it. I just got back from St. Augustine, and I went out there to see my family, and we got to see my little baby nephew Owen. He's only 2 weeks old, and he is the littlest, tiniest baby. That he's so cute, and he's my brother's son. My brother and my sister-in-law Hannah and Michael, and that's their second son. I also have Dean, and my sister has two children, which I just went over and saw them too. What was that? That was on Saturday. So, yeah, I posted some pictures on my Facebook of Owen and me, but um, yeah. So I guess I'm just going to start by doing what I do on Facebook all the time and doing an update. I call it an update, anyways. But so I know a lot of you have a million questions about my medical health. Probably you're wondering. You've heard stories. You don't know what to believe or not to believe. So I figured we would dive into that and I would update you about basically my health and how I'm doing. So many of you don't know this, but about 13 years ago, I was diagnosed with a illness that was later determined to be chronic, and it is a mental illness. And and there was a lot of doctor visits over the years, hospitalizations, things like that. So like I know there's like a lot of rumors, like what really happened. Did she go off the deep end? Was it drugs or whatever? But what actually happened was, oh, sorry, I got a notification. But what happened was that a while back, when I was about 18, which I hold on 1 second. Sorry, let me check this real quick. Okay, so when I was 18, I started having some strange issues, and it was later determined that I had a mental illness. Now, it was kind of an ongoing battle because there were different diagnoses, and there were a lot of, you know, wrong diagnoses. Well, it ended up being determined that not only do I have, anxiety, PTSD, that kind of thing, I have, basically, we don't really know. I've had different assumptions. I've had doctors that have said it was bipolar. I've had some that literally just said that it was anxiety. I've had some that have said other things, but um, yeah. So, like I said, when I was 18, I started having some issues. Later, it was determined I had a mental illness, and the road to recovery after that was and still is an uphill battle because the problem is that there's a lot of confusion and misdiagnoses and things like that. Like the process is kind of, like I said, like an uphill battle. It's basically trying to figure out what is wrong with me, what is not wrong with me, what is actually the mental illness and what is not, and what are the outside things, and with that being said, I'll just say that recently I have a new diagnosis, which is, well, I already said it, but I have PTSD. So that's the newest diagnosis, and I had already had anxiety, depression, things like that, possibly mania, but I'm not sure if we're still not really sure that it was ever even mania, because honestly, I drink a lot of caffeine, and now I haven't had mania for years. So I don't know. But well, I guess if I had even never had it. So to clear up everything, anyways, I was diagnosed with mental illness, multiple ones, like anxiety, depression. Excuse me, sorry. Sorry, I was feeling a little sick, but I've been starting to get better, but I still have a little something in my throat sometimes. But yeah. So what was I saying? I was saying that, yeah, about the mental illness. Well, yeah. So to clear up the rumors, you know, I was diagnosed with a mental illness, later PTSD, have nightmares, all kinds of symptoms, trauma nightmares, and I'm not gonna get into the trauma. Not in this video. I may one day, but I don't know if I want to put that all over the internet. I'm not really sure I want to do that, and I'm actually kind of afraid to, because to I don't want to make a scene and cause a bunch of drama or anything from you know from basically saying my personal life on the internet. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to start out the video with. I wanted to talk about the mental illness. I wanted to tell you guys what happened was, at first it seemed like I had been on drugs, but actually it wasn't that. There was some confusion and things in the very beginning that were very alarming. Anyway, so I ended up in the hospital. Like I said, I was later diagnosed with a mental illness. At that time, they had diagnosed me in the hospital, but they hadn't got the diagnosis right. It had changed so many times. We didn't know. So I found this great doctor, Dr. Kathleen Grissett, and she's been my doctor all these years since I was 19. And she says, well, the diagnosis doesn't matter. We'll treat the symptoms and we'll find medicines that work for the different diagnoses that it would be. So I'm like, okay, that's great, because every other doctor I have been to wants to treat it for the diagnosis. They're sure I have, and they've all said different things. I've heard schizoaffective disorder. I've heard bipolar. I've heard schizopersonality disorder, or whatever that one's called, the personality one. I've heard anxiety. I've heard, PTSD, depression. I've heard OCD. I've heard ADHD. They don't know, and it's irrelevant. But I was actually diagnosed recently with PTSD, and we're sure about that because of the trauma nightmares, because that's a really common symptom um, of PTSD, and um, yeah. So I wanted to clear up that. I know everybody's been wondering, like, what in the world is going on with Jackie? Why is she in the hospital? Everybody said she went crazy, but that's not exactly what happened. I had some symptoms early on that ended up going away or something, but I basically, let me let me try to say it like this. In the very beginning, they were trying to figure it out. I was later diagnosed with mental illness, and I'm still struggling with it, but I'm getting better all the time. And so that's what I wanted to say. Now, my last hospitalization, which I know you guys might be laughing or thinking like that it's scary, but in the psych ward, in the psychiatric hospital, in the hospital on the in the psych ward on the psychiatric floor, it's basically just a hospital. Well, it is just a hospital, and it's just a floor on the hospital they call psych ward. It's for psychiatric illness. Well, my last hospitalization was this month is actually 2 years since the last one. So that's really good. It was uh it was a good stay in the hospital last time. I had really needed to escape and get out of here and go get my mind back to normal, get back to some kind of safe situation where I was just basically stable, like just not, you know, um I don't want to say it, but losing it, or out of it, going crazy. But no, it's not that. It was some depression and stuff, but like that depression, anxiety, that kind of crap. But so I went into the hospital and I met this girl. Her name was, well, I'm not gonna say her name because I don't wanna disclose that. But she was the nicest girl. She was in college and she was my roommate, and she reminded me so much of someone I know, who also I will not mention. But and I met some other people, and they were just really nice. They were nice. I saw a guy that I met in there after that at the gas station, and he was doing a lot better, and that was just really good. And in those psych wards, it's mostly just like depression and stuff. You don't see any of the really more rare things, the more severe cases. You do sometimes, but so yeah, so I had a good say. I was at Orange Park. It's in Florida, Orange Park Medical Center, and I've been there multiple times. And yeah, so that was how long is this video? It's been 11 minutes, 11, 6 minutes, 11, 12 minutes. Um, yeah, I've stayed there multiple times. They have a really nice facility, and it's really nice. And the people that work there are really nice. They're like, they're like the sweetest people. And like I said, I've been hospitalized many times. I have been at rock bottom, and this is the story of my life. And I'm making a YouTube channel or Facebook, whatever, social media kind of thing, about my life. I've been wanting to make videos and start this for a while. I don't know if I'm going to stay with it for long because I don't really like to put myself out all over the internet because honestly, between me and, well, I guess the world, is I don't want to be found by the wrong people. So, yeah, so I might edit that out, but I'm probably not going to. But so yeah, so with that being said, um I have stayed at multiple facilities. I have stayed in Jacksonville, I have stayed in Orange Park, and that's actually the only places I've stayed. Those are the only places I've stayed. And I see my little friend Oreo. He's the little cat that I put on Facebook, the black and white one that I'm trying to find a home for. I can't find a home for these cats, but so yeah, so I have a lot of stories with the mental illness. I don't know that I'll put that on the all of the details anyways on the media, but I will update you and tell you, what's going on, what's happened and everything and what's happening. But yeah, so I take my medications that I get. I do the therapy that they recommend, and I'm recovering. I've been recovering now. So this summer will be 14 years. And well, actually it is summer, but it'll be in July. The very end of July. But yeah, so that's the first thing I wanted to do. I wanted to get that out of the way and talk to y'all. And I know my mother will be probably watching this, so I don't want to upset her. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I know everyone on here already knows, and mostly about me having at least a medical issue, and because you see me posting about it on Facebook. And all my friends, there's a lot of rumors, so I wanted to put that out there. So I did it after all these years. Can't believe I finally did, but I did. Well, actually, I haven't yet, but I'm making the video to do it. But okay. So next, after I had this mental illness, I ended up going on to disability and having to drop out of college. So, what do I do all day with my time? That's what I want to get into next, because that is what my life mostly revolves around, because I have the disability. My daughter doesn't live with me. She lives with my father and also my stepmother and my dog Carly, because I need a lot of help taking care of her, and it's just better for her to live with them. So I find myself alone all the time, which isolation, is supposed to be really bad for me. And so I think these videos and this YouTube channel will be a good thing. Plus, I can join with other people making videos like this, and excuse me, in this kind of situation. This video is getting kind of long, but um, yeah. So what have I been doing with my time? Well, I'm planning, actually, ironically, I'm planning to go work part time. I haven't worked in like 7 years. Now I have done work on the side, but not like regular employment. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm gonna go and get my water. I will be right back. Hold on one second. Okay, and I hope I have enough data. Oh yeah, my sister got me this cup, but I hope I have enough data to upload this video. If not, I will buy more, because I was planning on buying more anyway. Okay, so work. Yeah, so I ended up not working. I used to be a chocolatier and work in sales. Well, so I decided, well, now that I'm on disability, I can make extra income, because you can actually do that on there up to a certain amount. Otherwise, after that, they take away the disability. So I started buying and selling things, because I've heard about it. And in Florida, you can do that and it's legal, and you can buy used stuff and sell it for a profit. So I've been doing that, and I had started a YouTube channel about that, and I wanted to post that, but then I was like, maybe it's not a good idea. So I went off, and then of YouTube and social media with that. So anyway, so I am still doing that, and I actually have a bunch of clothes my mother gave me and her friend Kathy gave me. So thank you for the clothes. But I have a lady coming to buy them. I'm not sure when she's coming, but I'm waiting for her to message me back. Nice lady named Laura. I've met her before. But I sell on Facebook Marketplace, and it's actually a really good pastime, and it's a good extra source of income, because there's not always inventory, but there is actually quite a bit of it out there if you go look regularly at the thrift stores and garage sales and things like that. And you can make pretty good money if you do it right, but you have to put money into. Well, you don't actually have to put money into it. You can get the free stuff, because people give away free stuff and then sell it. Um, so yeah, I've been redecorating. You may see that picture. I'll show you. That's the chalkboard my daughter made me when she was little. Those are pictures my mom gave me, and that's another picture, another beach picture. That one, I put up the homemade ones, and I also decorated it with beach pictures. So let's see. Um, Buying and selling stuff, you know. Um, I like to donate, so I donate plasma too, which I feel like is a really good like cause, and it pays extra money. So I'm like, well, I already donate anyways, which don't mention that to my father, because nope, just kidding. I'm not gonna say that. No, my father um is a really good guy. He just doesn't want me to have any complications from the plasma, because no, he knows I donate. I was only kidding. But he he just he worries about me. But Anyways, I was only kidding. So, yeah. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing, buying and selling stuff. Oh, I'm writing my new book. You may have seen. Yeah, I shouldn't say new. It's like years old, and I've like barely written in it at all. It's just what I do, like when I have downtime, and not even usually when I have downtime. Like it's been like an empty notebook for, well, it's not empty, but it's next to empty, and it's been like that for many years. Even though I thought up this idea years ago to write this book, I like writing it. It's like a really fun story to write, But it's called Afterlife Paradox. It's a fiction sci-fi book. Excuse me, maybe even a little bit fantasy like, but really just like sci-fi kind of. And well, actually, it is. It's sci-fi, and um. You can look at my Facebook page. This video is getting long, and I'll talk about it in maybe my next video. I don't want to get into it and start explaining all of it. I'll just say it's a book about the afterlife that's fiction, and it's like a scientific afterlife. I'm gonna incorporate religion into it. Speaking of that, I'm sitting here with my Jesus chain. You know, it's another thing. The church. I have you know, been trying to connect with the churches, I should say, and it's like a nice bunch of people. It's like a nice group of people. The Christians is, you know, it's kind of nice to get to know people and have like a kind of like a similar. I don't know if I should say interest, but a similar belief that there is a higher power, whether it's Jesus or not. You know, not everybody, you know, knows. I mean, no one knows, maybe, but what I mean is, religion, I'm not the most religious person, but I do believe there's some kind of higher power out there and a good one, even if there's also bad higher powers out there. But that's all. That was just another thing I wanted to clear up because I know there's been some, confusion about my religion and people noticing, oh, she's religious. I didn't know she was religious. Well, I'm not that religious, but I do believe there's a good God. And I do actually, you know, um, participate in the Christian religion, whether basically, I'll put it this way. I'm unorthodox. I have my doubts about every single religion, and I do believe in God, and I do participate in Christianity, and Christian activities, things like that. So I wanted to clear that up because some of you are like, "Why is Jackie acting like like that? I didn't know she was religious. She was never religious before or something." Well, that was why, because during this whole mental illness recovery and everything else that I'm going through, like everything else in my life between, motherhood and other problems and everyone has their secrets, but their secret lives, and going through all of that and everything, I have kind of started to realize there's more in this world and in this existence. This existing existence is just the fact that it exists is amazing to me, and it's so interesting and strange and unusual and very unique, and even in its own way. And it's very interesting, and it's very you know almost surreal, but it's really like amazing, I guess is the right word. And so I've started to kind of, explore more in this world and this life and this universe. And honestly, and I'm not saying I know this, it's what I believe. I believe there's more to this world. There's more out there, and there's more that people don't always know about, maybe. And anyways, so that was what I wanted to say. I wanted to clear up that because I know my friends are going, Jackie's religious. I never knew she was religious a day in my life. You know, she was never religious a day in her life. So I wanted to say that. Um, let's see. Oh, so yeah, so that video I made a video and I did delete it, but I will make it again for you. I was showing you how my brother taught me to make steak because before I was not a good cook. And when I would cook steak, it would taste okay, but it was not cooked right. And it was, I mean, it was safe, but it was not good, you know. So he taught me how to cook it, and it's so easy. Excuse me. So I will show you in a video how to make it, and you'll laugh because you'll never believe it. But you never think to. I'm not just gonna give a secret away, but you never think to bake a steak. But when you sear it in the pan for a few minutes on each side, you get the pan really hot first, and then you sear it for a few minutes on each side. Then you put it into the oven and you let it bake for a few minutes, and then it's all the way done. And then you baste it. You let it sit for a couple minutes. You baste it, and it comes out perfect every time. I never knew to do. I'm just like flipping it, like burning it, trying to figure out how to get it cooked all the way through because I don't have a grill. I cook on the stove, you know. So all right, this video is getting way long, so I'm gonna wrap it up in the next like 2 minutes. Trying to think if there's anything else. So religion, my disability, what I've been doing with my time. Okay, yeah. So I said my book. Oh yeah, I still write songs and stuff too. I write, I read. You know, I do a lot of cleaning, laundry, cooking, grocery shopping, doctor's appointments, therapy, errands. You know, so um, yeah, I try to make time for the family. That was important to my grandmother who passed away of cancer. Many of you know her. You may have not heard, but a while back she passed away, and making time for the family is important. So, like I said, I just got back from seeing my mom, seeing my brother, my little baby nephew Owen, and my sister-in-law, and my sister, and my brother-in-law, and all of them. So, anyways, I will keep making videos. I think I'm going to try to do it, and this one, I think that about wraps it up. I mean, that's the first video. I want you to come on the journey that is my life with me. If that is not weird. Okay, that was definitely weird, but you know what I mean. All right, bye.